My take on the Alfréd Rényi Prize, Hajnal Andréka, 1987, 1 out of 2. 1 of 2. I'm filming this over 30 years later on Thursday, 19 September 2024. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Norway and United States of America. I'm talking to the Hajnal Andréka, she, her, hers of Hungary. Alfréd Rényi Prize, Year of Award 1987. She won the Alfréd Rényi Prize, 1 of 2 people to win the prize for her research in mathematics regarding algebraic logic. I provide my take/perspective on her award and contextualize it in terms of the meaning of the Alfréd Rényi Prize / why it is awarded. Okay, so this one is a bit... The mathematics prizes are, a lot of them are aged for like young people, or like if you do outreach, there's stuff. And then within the technical aspect, like the technical side of mathematics, there's, you know, the age bracketing, which is kind of like, well, less technical because part of the definition of the prize is the age. So it's not necessarily defined in terms of mathematics. Some are like research area specific, some are broad and kind of open to everything. This is one where, there's like the Cantor medal, which I covered yesterday, which is associated with the German language and contribution to mathematics in a certain heritage and linguistic space. So this is one that is institution specific, which is pretty cool. And there's not, it's a, I don't know of any other institution specific, like as in research institute high notability prize like this. So in that sense, it's unique, it's standalone. It is awarded to, what is it, up to 2 fellows, so 1 or 2 of the Alfréd Rényi Institute of Mathematics, which is in Hungary. And performance is evaluated over a 5-year period in regards to their research. So this is like a moving, streamlined one for sure. And this is one that I actually have encountered a number of times in my life and was like, it's a different thing working at a research institute, right, or an institute of mathematics. It's like, you take my YouTube channel. Do you guys want to see what it's like? Or if I can't, or figure out how to share it as I can. How to do 8 hours of mathematics a day. And so I was like, and so it's like, so let's say in theory somebody worked there to win this prize. And they're like, okay, be what? At least 2 to 3 years plus 5 years of research. So it's like, you know, if I were seriously thinking about something like that, right, to become a fellow, you have to be there long enough to become a fellow, right? And that's a little short, right? 7 to 8 years. So it's like, maybe instead of thinking of it as in terms of like doing it for a prize, is there a space for that in my life? So I've talked yesterday about like, could I come up with like an 18 to 22 year plan, like somewhere in that ballpark, right? For like my own settling of my career. And I was like thinking specifically in academia because I've kind of done that already with running. So I was like, okay, let's take everything. So there's running and then there's like everything else, and let's just lump that as academia and then like the balance with like the home life. So then I was like, okay, so then over this period, so say I start off with 5 to 7 years doing a PhD in physics in Italy. And then I go to Hungary for, say, like a decade, and I go to the Alfréd Rényi Institute of Mathematics. And then I go for like 5 years at the Hunterian Museum in Glasgow, Scotland. And at the end of that all, why would I do that? I'm genuinely, I think, sure, yes, to a PhD, but like in terms of like, there's, a professorship can stay at the same institution for a long time in professorship. So there's a bit of like, while the PhD might seem like okay, there's a bit of like professorship. How am I equipped to handle that if even half of the soulmates I'm saying are my soulmates, right? Like the work-life balance, and then where, all right. when I go back to Italy. And so thinking about that, and then, right, and that would be time settling on that if it's a fit, and then figuring out how to incorporate like my side interests and my geology passion projects and stuff like that. Where are our houses? Where are we going to put microscopes in our houses? Where's going to be the experimental petrology furnace, right? Where's going to be our microscopes? How many houses are going to have microscopes? Where are the samples going to be sold? Where are maps going to be stored? Or not, samples not sold, samples stored, right? So figuring out work-life balance. So that would be a, what would that be? 5 to 7 plus 10 plus 5, 20 to 22 year plan. Or vision, I guess, but yeah, and that would be, the Hunterian Museum would be like, could be, it's a diverse museum, could be like geology stuff, could be like chemical physics of geology stuff, that kind of thing, or, so yeah. So that's my, moving streamlined is, there's a 20 to 22 year vision. Maybe it all starts with, I'm, with one of my soulmates, and I get an offer to do a PhD with somebody over in Italy, and I say yes, and then they send me, okay, before you come in, before you officially start, I want you to read these 50 articles that I send you with notes, and I want you to make a CV. And I send the CV and bring the articles with notes, and that's your day one. Or bring the CV in person. Is it online and in person? Right, or something like that. But yeah, so as my point here being, the right category, I love algebraic logic, I love algebra, I love logic, mathematical logic. The right person, she, her, hers, right? This is something that's been done, like as in a pathway, right? Because she was a fellow of this institute. Right, sometimes finding the right, an award can be a form of like pointing towards something like, well, maybe this pathway is a fit, right? So there we go. It's a little bit about thinking about my own life and my, a 20 to 22 year kind of, 18 to 22 has ended up in the 20 to 22 for that. I take on an academia settling down pathway for me. So as my take on the Alfréd Rényi Prize, Hajnal Andréka, 1987, 1 of 2.